Welcome to the podcast Life After Addiction and Indictment. I'm your host, Steve Cloward, and I spent most of the last decade and well over $100,000 on coaches, consultants, masterminds, and events trying to figure out how to reclaim my life again. On this podcast, I'm going to share the tools, the tips, the tricks, and the hacks that allowed me to forgive myself so that I could reclaim my life again. I'll be interviewing experts in mindset, leadership, entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, branding, and so much more. I'm glad you're here. Sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Let's go! This is Life After Addiction and Indictment.
Welcome to Life After Addiction and Indictment. Today I've got a gentleman who, has had some struggles with alcohol in the past, who's now really making a big difference out there in the world, helping people get in shape, regain their health. I want to welcome to the show today, David Falco. How you doing, David?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. And I know life is busy, so thanks for taking a little time out today.
Absolutely.
Well, why don't we start out? Give us a little bit of backstory on yourself, kind of how you grew up and, what led you to alcohol and some of the struggles you had, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually thinking about how I wanted to share my story with your audience. And I actually pinpointed all the way back to just wanting to be connected. So I'm from a small town, Sand Springs, Oklahoma. It's just west of Tulsa. I mean, just outside. So, but my parents divorced when I was in second grade, I believe. And so I came from a split household. And then I actually ended up running away from home at 17. I had some family dynamic, rebellious issues in my younger days. And
you have siblings?
I actually have, yes, no real natural siblings. So when I was growing up, I had an adopted sister. I'm talking about originally with my mother and my father. I had an adopted sister. And then when they split, I went with my father, and then my sister went with my mother. Both have been remarried and have stayed remarried ever since. So it's that's been awesome. But then with my stepfather, he had 3 of his own kids. And then also my stepmother had her own kid too as well. So I have 4 siblings. And then I also have a half sister from my father and my stepmom. So I have 3, 4, 5 siblings, but none of them are like true biological. I have a half sister, of course, but yeah, got a lot of siblings. So as I was growing up with my father and my stepmother, it was myself, my stepsister, and then my half sister as we got a little bit further along. So yeah, I ended up just having I had a rebellious spirit and ended up running away 17. My father actually threatened to put me into juvie if I didn't come home. And so me being the smart guy that I was, I don't want to go to juvie. I did return home, but then a year later had some issues. And then I decided to go for good when I was 18, and there wasn't anything legally that he could do to stop me. So that was that. I finished out my high school tenure with my girlfriend at the time. And then freshman year of college, moved to Oklahoma City. And that's actually where my journey into, I wouldn't say abuse. I've never been abusive with substances, but definitely have misused them. I dated the same girl all through high school. And then freshman year of college, that relationship ended. So here I am in a new city, single, completely, just everything's unfamiliar. And so when people are in that situation, they're looking for connection. And so I was really reflecting. I was like, how did I really get started with experimenting with that stuff? Because I had never had the inkling to do it. Growing up, A and B student, never got into trouble, played athletics my whole entire life, worked, paid my own truck insurance in high school. So I had a lot of responsibility that I handled. And so that was actually part of the rebelliousness. I took care of business. I handled business. I wasn't getting into trouble. And then I feel like I was just very restricted. My dad was very conservative and he had a lot of rules. And now being as a father myself and being 40, it's like, it makes sense. kept me out of trouble. But as a teenager, you don't understand that. And so that's why, I just, I thought I was a man. I'm just going to live by my own rules, and I bounced. But anyways, my freshman year. So now I'm 19, single, new town, everything, like everything's unfamiliar, just looking for connection. And I never drank, never smoked, never done drugs, nothing. And then I slowly started getting more and more curious about that lifestyle, just because I'd never done it, right? And I literally remember the night of my very first drink. I was hanging out with a teammate of mine at one of our volleyball chicks' apartment. And earlier that day, I'd actually talked to my ex on the phone, and she actually went to the University of Oklahoma. I went to Southern Nazarene. But anyways, earlier in that day, she had actually shared with me that she'd started drinking.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so I was like, huh. And that was just news to me. Anyways, fast forward to that night. That was the thing that just completely sparked the curiosity. And I literally remember, this is so crazy, because it's like I have these flashbacks, like a really good memory. And I opened up the fridge door. We were hanging out at this chick's apartment. And I opened up the door and it was all just, can we curse on this one or no?
Be yourself, man.
Be myself. Well, people would call like bitch beer, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, there was like Zima. You guys remember Zima's? There was Zima's. There was Mike's Hard Lemonade. There was this Jack Daniel's Punch, whatever, the bitch beer, right? All this stuff. But I remember thinking to myself, well, if she's going to, let me see what I'm gonna try it out. And that was my very first drink. It was Jack Daniel's Hard Punch. I just had one, maybe two, but that's how it all started. And that group of friends that I started hanging out with in college, they drank, but where I started doing it was like going to concerts. And so like, that's how that group of friends that's what we did outside of class and everything. Like we'd travel around, we'd go to concerts, this and that. And I got introduced that way. And so that's how it all started.
Wow. So did you just continue to basically recreate with it then? Just,
Yes. Yes. Yeah, just good. Like I said, it's like I was curious. I was having a good time. Like I said, the biggest thing is looking for connection, and the people that I ended up connecting with, that was something that we did. So, but that's how it all got started in the beginning, and just recreationally. I never would consider myself being like I said, abusive towards it. But, as a 19-year-old going 19, 20, 21, I continued doing it. It actually got me into quite a bit of trouble actually through my college. I actually almost got kicked out of school, almost got kicked off of the football team. We can talk about that story if you'd like. That's actually, I don't think I've ever shared that one before.
Yeah, let's hear it. And then after
that. Okay, got it. So this will be interesting. This will be a road down memory lane. I've never actually shared this story before, so you get the exclusive. So my freshman year, like as I said, it's like I started experimenting with that and just going, hanging out with teammates, going to concerts, just doing it. And it was really, it was actually looked down upon because I actually went to a small Christian university. So we had to literally like sneak around and like be like covert when we did. And so it's like when we'd have parties after games, or when we were just hanging out on the weekends, or like I said, when we were going to concerts or whatever, we always had to like be very careful. We had to look over our shoulder. We couldn't just, just be open with it. And social media wasn't out at that time yet. So it was really, it wasn't as hard, but it's like we had to be careful about this. Halfway through that very first semester in the fall, I got wind of a convenience store that would actually sell to minors. Like I said, I was 19. It was one of these rinky-dink mom and pop shop hole in the walls. But they're like, yeah, it's like just go in. It's like they don't even ID you. And so the very first time I was like nervous as hell. And I pull up, and like I said, little bitty hole in the wall convenience store. And sure enough, I walk in, I just grab a 12-pack of beer, and walk up to the cash register. No questions asked, no ID, paid cash, left. So I have this 12-pack, and I put it into my yellow backpack. I had this yellow backpack. And so this was on a random like Tuesday, Wednesday night, like during the week, wasn't even in the weekend. And so I have this, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, now it's time to go drink. My dumbass thought it was a good idea to go to the dorms. Again, like I said, we're at a Christian university. It's like, let me call up some of my boys. We'll go up to the dorms, be all sneaky, and we'll just have some beers. I was like, nothing crazy. It's just, Tuesday, Wednesday night, whatever. And so you go to the dorms. I actually had key fobs that you had to scan. I lived off campus, so I actually had to wait for somebody to come in, and I just followed right behind, nonchalantly, whatever. Anyways, went up to the room. It was about the 4th floor, and I called a couple of my buddies, and like I said, just hanging out, just random Tuesday night, whatever. About 30 minutes, 60 minutes, I don't know exactly how long into the evening, I hear this knock on this door. And they immediately, the RA actually just, like, they had keys and everything to everybody's dorm. They don't even need like permission to come in. They can just come in, whatever. They weren't like checking in on us or anything like that. They were randomly going out, either handing out an announcement, something, or I can't even remember what it was. But I remember having my back to the door. I had a can in my hand. They opened it up, and I'm looking over my shoulder, and I'm like, oh, shoot, right? And so they walk in, and then they see us, and like, hey guys, but like they see, like, all of us probably had this deer in headlights look. And he was on the other side of the room. He started to walk towards us. I try to be slick. I do this reverse pivot to keep my back to him with the can in my hand. I just reverse pivot. Don't say a word. I immediately walk out the dorm room, hook a hard right. Now I'm just going down the hall, walking fast. I get about 3 doors down. I hear this, hey. I don't turn around. I don't say, hey. And I just keep walking. I get to the other hallway, hook a hard left, hook another hard left. And now I'm coming down the other end. And I don't even, like I said, I don't even acknowledge them. I don't say anything. I don't look back, nothing. I get around the corner. I get to one of the restrooms, because the dorms have like the bigger community public restrooms. Mm-hmm. So I get into that restroom and I just ditch that can of beer. I just throw it away. I don't try to be slick about it. I just throw it away, and then I hoof it, right? There's a back staircase, fire escape on every single floor. I go to the fire escape, and I go up a floor, not down a floor. I go up a floor, and then I go to one of my other teammates' room, knock on the door. He came in. I was like, oh shoot, I come in. He's like, what's the matter? And I'm like freaking out. I was like, dude, I just had a beer in the dorm room, and they're looking for me. And he's like, dude, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I was like, I got to get my bag out of there. And so I'm in there for just a few minutes. I was like, dude, I got to get my bag. I got to get my bag. I don't even know if they found it. I don't even know if they found that beer or whatever. It's like, I got to go get it. I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm on a reconnaissance mission. So I go back down the staircase. I go back into that bathroom, and I look into that dumpster that I threw my can in. I'm trying to look, and it's like, I don't see my can. I'm like, oh shoot, they may have gotten it. I'm like, now I'm panicking. They caught me. I hustle back to the original room, and I walk in, and my bag's still there. And I talk to the guys. They're like, dude, yeah, they're looking for you. I'm like, oh gosh, like what is that? But the bag was still in there. I take the bag. I open up the dorm room window, and they don't open up all the way. They just tilt, right? Oh, they need jumpers, whatever. But it's just a safety precaution. The windows tilt. They don't open all the way. But it was just enough room for me to take my bag, slip it through the window, and I dropped the bag 4 floors down. Boom. And then I'm out of there. So same thing. I exit. I go back towards the back, and in the hallway where the fire escape is, I go down. I exit the fire escape, and I'm out of there. I ended up going to one of the town halls with my other teammates. It's like, I'm all over the place. And it's just like, same thing. I go to his room, and I'm like, dude, I tell him what's going on. And he's like, well, where's your keys? My keys were in my bag. Oh gosh. I couldn't leave. My keys were in my bag. Well, I was like, all right, now I gotta freaking go get my keys, right? So I go back to the dorm room. And I go back around the side of the building where I thought where I dropped my bag. Bag's gone. I'm busted. Like I knew it, right? So my keys are gone. My bag's gone. It has the beer. Like I just know. So like I'm busted. They know it's me because it has my textbooks in there too as well. That has my name, so they know exactly whose bag it is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm caught. Go back to that town hall. I had to end up actually staying the night in that residence at the town hall with my other teammate. And then fast forward, the very next day, they called me in. I had to go, go answer questions, this, and this, and this, and this. And yeah, that was my first quote unquote run-in with an authority for drinking in the dorm rooms on a random Tuesday or Wednesday night. Stupid, absolutely stupid. But it was real cool because it actually wasn't real cool. But I took the rap for everybody. They were interrogating me, asking me questions, who all was involved, who was drinking, blah, 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 blah. And I said, it was me, only me, to me. Right?
Yeah.
So I took the rap for the whole thing. My responsibility. I'm the one who brought it up in there. My fault. And so they gave me my repercussions. I got suspended. There was a fine. I had to do some community service. And then also, they notified my head coach, and my head coach thank goodness, Coach McGrady didn't kick me off the team. But what he did was he just basically hired me, not hired me. He made me do chores. I mean, so I had to work the equipment room. I had to do laundry. I had to get equipment. I couldn't go to practice for a specific amount of time. It had just rained the week before, so the field was completely like soaked. And so he literally he gave me a rake. I had to go to the sidelines, and he had me rake the mud on the sidelines to let air get into the soil so it would dry out. And so he's just giving me all these just random tasks. But thank goodness, and I'm actually very thankful that he did not actually kick me off the team.
Yeah, no kidding.
In the future, like he did with other teammates in the future years. Like there were people that didn't get a second chance. So I had to earn my way back onto the team. But I had to deal with those repercussions, had to let my parents know what was going on. Obviously, like I said, so that was my first run in. I've never shared that story.
Are you tired of paying exorbitant monthly fees for your in-home entertainment? Do you wish there was a way to bring quality and affordable entertainment right into your household without a monthly subscription? Well, look no further. Introducing the 𝐕𝐶box Android TV Stream Box. Since 2020, 𝐕𝐶box has been enriching people's lives all over the world, and now it's coming to North America. Say goodbye to scattered subscriptions and countless apps. We've got all your streaming in one place. This is the best fully loaded Android TV box provider in North America. Our user-friendly interface makes navigation a breeze, and with the voice remote featuring Google Assistant, finding your entertainment has never been easier. The 𝐕𝐶box V2 Pro Android box is the epitome of convenience. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your favorite shows and movies with just a few simple voice commands. And the best part, no monthly subscriptions. That's right, you heard it correctly. Say goodbye to those pesky recurring fees and hello to endless entertainment. Join the 𝐕𝐶box revolution and elevate your entertainment experience. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. Visit our website and order your 𝐕𝐶box now. Bring home the 𝐕𝐶box today and bring endless joy and excitement to your household. 𝐕𝐶box, unleash the power of entertainment.
But like I said, this all started with just like being in a new town, being single, just looking for connection, and the people that I connected with, like that was things that they were doing. And I found out that my ex was doing it. So my curiosity was completely spiked. So I was like, well, if she's going to do it, then I'm going to do it too. And that's how it all got rolling. And that was actually my first big incident with my run-in with alcohol, almost getting kicked off my university team. So yeah, I've never shared that story.
Yeah, because so many, in college, that's fairly normal, but in a Christian college, it's a little different, obviously, but it's still happening, of course. But,
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy. Well, interesting. So let's shift gears and talk about entrepreneurship and business? What, did you get a certain degree in college? What were, did you always have the entrepreneurial spirit, or kind of how did you get going in business?
Did I always have the entrepreneurial spirit? I would actually say yes. And it even comes back from having that rebellious spirit.
So yeah, if you had that, you're an entrepreneur if you have some of that.
Yeah, it was like just having issues with quote unquote authority.
Yep.
I actually got my bachelor's degree is actually in psychology, but my current position now, I'm the founder and CEO of the Inner Anthem Academy, and we work with people on actually self-development. But I've always, I think I've had a quote unquote boss for maybe 4 months of my complete adult life. For 4 months, my first job out of school was at GNC. I worked there for about 2 months. And then I actually worked at a private one-on-one studio with physical fitness. And then I actually ended up becoming the manager at that facility within the first like 3 or 4 months. And then in 2008, I actually went in with a partner who was actually one of my clients. We actually bought the studio, and we took it over completely. So yeah, you could definitely say that I've had an entrepreneurial spirit my whole entire life.
How did you get into the health and fitness industry? Was that something you had interest in, or
no? Actually, so I thought I was going to be in the assisted living service, so like retirement homes, things like that. I did my senior practicum at it was called Copper Lake Estates, and I was the activities director's assistant. And he was moving on, and they were like, "Dude, you're a shoo-in." I'd been there the whole semester. The residents loved me, and so I didn't look anywhere else. I didn't put any of my eggs in any baskets. So like, dude, everybody loves you. And I thought this was it. I was like, cool, like this is gonna be my first job out of school. And so this was it. Graduated. They said, once you graduate, we'll do your formal interview. We'll get your papers. And that'll be the next step. I was like, okay, cool. 2 people applied for the job, myself and then one of the executive's daughters. I did not get the job. And here I am, not knowing like what I'm going to do. And so I was like, well, screw this, man. I was like, I'm just going to chill for a little bit. And I lived off of my graduation money for about, if I graduated in May. So basically that whole summer. So at the end of May, June, July, and August. Well, around August, money starts to really started wearing out, and I hadn't done anything before that. And it's like, dude, I need to do something. And so all I did that whole summer was just like hang out, work out, play video games, just being completely irresponsible, living off of graduation money. Was still working out after school. And I went up to the Sawyer Center, which was our basketball facility. And on the door to the actual weight room, it said trainers wanted. And we actually had an alumni who was a basketball player there who opened up this one-on-one facility downtown Oklahoma City. It was a Fitness Together franchise. And they were looking to hire help. I'd never done any personal training. I don't have a bachelor's. I don't have any quote unquote formal education in kinesiology or exercise science or anything like that. But I've played athletics my whole entire life. I know how to work out. I know how to lift. I know how to exercise. And so I was like, dude, let me go check this out. And so I called up there. They were looking for only part-time. Obviously, I was looking for full-time, but they're the ones that actually referred me to the gentleman who had another studio of the same franchise. I went up there, and then it took off from there. So I got hired on the spot. And like I said, within 3 months, I became the manager. And then I think within the next 6 to 12 months being there, actually went in with one of my clients as a partner, and we ended up buying the studio from them. And so, yeah, I owned my own business by the time I was 23, 22, something like that.
That's great.
So, but that's how all of this started. And ever since then, I've had one-on-one studios, I've had boot camps, I've had affiliates, I've had everything. And now I work with people one-on-one online. I still do, like I said, fitness and nutrition, but also it's like what we focus on in the academy is not just not what goes on inside the gym, but actually what goes on outside of the gym. That's where more of our emphasis is in their self-development. But yeah, we use these core pillars too with fitness and nutrition. But that's just a piece of what we do with our.
I think it's huge, because I have a lot of people I know in the industry, but I've really never, maybe there's one guy I can think of that does things, but as far as, helping people develop themselves from a personal standpoint and not just fitness, the food and the weight and, getting in shape, because that is important. But,
Yep.
if you're going to continue to be where you want to be, you got to continue to work on yourself. So I think that's huge, man. That's awesome.
The biggest skills that we teach. So what I refer to as hard skills and then soft skills. So the hard skills, technology, obviously like the lifting, the nutrition, macronutrients, calorie intake, basal metabolic, right? Like all that stuff. Like I could teach to a 10-year-old. That's all easy. That's just all academic, right? It's these other soft skills that people really fall short on and what's really self-sabotaging their lives. So they have poor time management, poor orchestration within the family, their schedules, all that stuff. Poor communication, terrible coping mechanisms, right? And like all these additional things that are going on inside their lives, what I refer to as the soft skills, what they really need to address. Like this stuff over here will like get situated once we actually address these soft skills, because everything works like in a symphony. And then when one's off, the other one's off. So it's just like this stuff's easy to teach. This stuff takes a little bit more time, but we encompass everything and really, really look at everything from people's, like I said, just even simply their time management. So that's what differentiates us from this getting like quote unquote personal trainer or going to the gym or things like that.
That's huge. What have you done? Because I don't, the importance of having mentors and coaches, is huge. And, what have you done in your lifetime, that has really benefited you to kind of get yourself to the next level in business and just in life?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that the biggest things that I emphasize is getting in the right rooms. And when I say that, is surrounding yourself with people who are better than you. So whatever it is, I actually heard this quote about 2 days ago, and we've all heard this. It's like, you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around the most, right? We've all heard this. And so you look around right now currently, and like you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with. What this gentleman said though, but this was really interesting, which means it's like your future can be predictable. Yeah. Meaning you want to be successful in any one area of your life, all you need to do is search and find who's killing it in those areas. And you need to somehow being able to infiltrate and get into those circles, get into those rooms. And whether that's cost money or whether that's networking or whether that's collaborating, it's like find ways for you to get into those environments so that they can, help you elevate. And so even for me, I actually calculated this up this year, and this is nothing big. I've invested over $100,000 since 2016 in my own self-development. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that, because I know people that's just a drop in the bucket. Some of my associates, some of my teachers, some of my mentors, that's been 10 times that on their self-development. And so, but this is the one thing, it's like, if that's what it takes, because it's either going to cost you time trying to do it on your own, or it's going to cost you money getting into those rooms. So either way, it's like whatever it is that you're going to do, it's like you need to do it. Find people who are better than you at what it is that you're trying to do, and then figure out a way to get around those people. That's what's absolutely helped me, and I continue to reinvest in myself. So that's one of the biggest things, is like find people who've been in those shoes and who've come out wildly successful, and you need to start collaborating and getting into those rooms and getting into those circles.
Yeah, that's 100% what I've experienced in my life, and continue, it doesn't matter what age, continue to, have coaches and mentors, because it doesn't matter, if you look at some of the greats out there, and whether it be in sports, or just in life, the greats always have coaches, and it's crazy how we are willing to put so much time and effort and investment in so many different things, but yet so often people discount the value of putting it into yourself, and to me, that's where it's got to start.
And here's what's crazy is like now in 2003, it's like, you don't necessarily physically, right? Zoom, all this stuff, whatever, with the internet, you don't necessarily have to physically be around those people or even geographically be around those people. With the internet, And even if you don't have, even if you have a limited budget, or you have no budget at all, you could still go onto YouTube. It's like never in the history have had so much access to so many successful people who have been there, done that, who have already made mistakes that you could learn from, and that can help expedite your process into getting to where it is that you want to be. So even if you don't have the funds to go to their mastermind or go to their seminars or enroll in their course, whatever, it's like you could still go onto the internet and you could just, like I said, if it's not going to, if it's either going to cost you time or it's going to cost you money. And if you don't have the money, then it's going to cost you time. Go find the information, because we live in the information age, and everybody has the same opportunity. This is the biggest thing. Not everybody has the same results, but everybody has the same opportunity to be successful in their area. All they need to do is put the appropriate amount of time, energy, effort, and focus. And with the appropriate amount, you guys can do it.
100%. There's absolutely no excuse today. There just isn't, I mean, the fact that we all are walking around with computers in our hands and you can just watch, like you said, YouTube right there in your hand anytime.
Absolutely.
There's so much incredible information out there that wouldn't cost you a dime, And so it's just, what are you willing? If you're not willing to give up your time to learn, then, don't know what to tell you.
That's what I think also too, as well, with the internet. And I think the biggest thing too, even for what I've struggled with too, as well, is the distraction of the internet. So it's like, it's a very useful tool, but it also an extremely big distraction too for many people as well.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm guilty of that. So I have to set it up to where I don't have alerts, I don't want any noises coming through my phone. Yeah. Because I'm the type, my personality, it just pulls me to, see, what was that? Who's texting me or whatever. So I just have to turn them off, And a lot of them, I don't even, if they have the symbols that show you got a message, I won't have even that stuff on my home screen because I don't want to see it.
I actually took a self-assessment. Have you ever taken a self-assessment before from a personality standpoint?
Yeah.
Like this is say it again.
Like DISC, some of those.
Yeah, DISC and the DSRT or whatever else, and some of those other things. I just took another one earlier this week, and I think I even still have the results. But one of my brain types, when they go through the descriptions and things that your pros and your cons and things that they caution you about, but it's like my brain type, it's like same thing, I guess, with addictive personalities, is they have a high dopamine tolerance. And so that's the thing. It's like we're easily distracted and we're constantly needing stimulus all day long. And then when we don't get that stimulus, I call it spontaneity. But if we don't get that stimulus, we become easily bored, easily distracted, and we lose focus. And so that's one thing that's been very difficult for me, is being able to, like I said, just focus, dial in. It's quiet here right now at home because Seisha's gone, the kids are gone right now, and I'm able to, I could actually go dial in and be focused on this podcast. But we have to, like especially for myself, that's one thing that I think that also plays when we're talking about addiction. And like I said, looking for that connection, going back to college too as well, looking for that connection, looking for that stimulus. Hey, what are we going to do? Hey, what's going on? Hey, Hey, we're doing this. You want to go? Yeah, sure. Boom, 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 boom. And it's like, it's always fun, exciting, try new things, meet new people, go new places, things like that. So that was also, I think, definitely played a role into my exploration these new environments, these new people, and then obviously with these new quote unquote substances.
Yeah, that's actually, when I was in my addiction, and the things that I find is, like you say, if I have things to do, I'm good, whether it's business, activities, family stuff, it doesn't matter. But it's those times where downtime, in fact, prior to a lot of things I went through, my businesses were just cruising. I had it fairly on autopilot, doing really well. And, the worst thing, what's that?
I said, and then you get bored when things are running.
That's it. The idle mind is the devil's playground, especially as an addict. I mean, and so that's one thing that, just people need to be aware of, and whether you're an addict or not, and, a lot of times people think addicts are drugs and alcohol, but we're talking anything. It can be overeating, it can be porn, it can be sex, it can be exercise, you name it.
Yep.
And so people just need to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
So you're obviously, consulting and a mentor and coach. Where can people find you, and really what, because thing that I've found in my life and you know, at my age, you know, if you're not feeling good, you know, and you've got a business you're running, that's going to affect your performance big time. And so the things that you do that help people, along with, you know, like the soft and the hard, I think is huge. But you really have to get in that place where you do optimize your body and your health if you want to perform at the level that it takes to really win. So where can people find you, and what is it, you know, that you really can do to help them out?
Absolutely. So the easiest way to find me is on my Instagram. It's @freefalco_fitness. That would be the fastest way. That's the platform that I'm the most active on. I do have a Facebook page too as well, but I just tell people to go to my IG because that's just the one that I'm most active on. We do have a YouTube channel too as well. It's the Inner Anthem Academy, and it's Inner INNER, like inner. That's our YouTube channel too as well. But yeah, as I said, we work with individuals, not quote unquote gym rats, but more of like the working class, the adults, 30, 40 plus, people who have families, like I said, people who have got to that stage in their life to where maybe their job's going great, right? Maybe their career's taking off and it's fantastic, but they've let themselves go. Or maybe they've started their family, their kids are doing great, but like their whole entire focus was now raising the family, and they took the focus off themselves. Or maybe it's somebody who is going through a divorce, and same thing, new chapter of their life. That's one of the biggest things that we see what people have struggles with is these situational transitions in their life. So whether it's moving to a new city, getting divorced or getting married, starting families, it's just like that's the biggest thing. Promotions, right? Job transitions, things like that. It's like we see a lot of our students who either A, are going through, or B, have gone through these specific types of transitions, and they're just really struggling adjusting.
Yeah.
Poor time management, poor orchestration, poor communication, emotional coping through their vices. And so because of those things, like I said, it's like they let themselves go physically, they start to prioritize other things and other people more, and they put themselves on the back burner. And now they look up and they're 40 pounds, 50 pounds heavy. They hate the way they look. They hate the way their clothes fit. And it's just like, they're just going down a road that's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse if they don't like actually do something about it and change that trajectory. And that's where we come in. We step in, and like I said, we help them get orchestrated. We help them get organized. We help them. We take the thinking out of things. I'm like, listen, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's your schedule, boom, 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 boom. And we just try to inject these daily disciplines. And that's the biggest key, is injecting daily disciplines into their life, for their circumstance and their situation, so that they can still carve out time for them to take care of them, whatever that may be, whatever, whether it's recovery, whether it's fitness, weight loss, whatever, whether it's even just, I don't know, but that's the biggest thing, is like when you guys establish daily disciplines through getting better time management and orchestration, you guys can fit in the things that need to get fit, as long as they are prioritized. And like I said, that's where we come in and help people with that.
Well, I think that was huge too, what you said, that I think is so important, and why someone like you provides so much value to people is, take the thinking out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type that, from an exercise standpoint, I know what to do because I've done it and had coaches in it. But at the same time, if I don't have someone and I don't plan it out, I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to be just kind of winging it. And that doesn't work. You don't want to be winging it in anything you're doing. So folks, reach out to David, and I'll have all of his information in the description, so that you can reach out, follow him on Instagram, see what he's doing. And, if you feel like you want to take your life and, yourself to the next level, reach out to him and see what he can do to help you out. But appreciate you being here today, David, and hope you have a fantastic weekend. And is there any final thoughts you want to leave with the audience before we wrap up?
Not really. I think the biggest thing people ask a lot of times is like, what would be my best advice? Is like, number one is like, go for it, take chances, have failures, learn from it. You need that. Failures give us the biggest feedback. You guys will write that down. failures give us the biggest feedback for us to make adjustments and move forward.
Got the title.
Yeah, trademark. No.
Yeah.
But it's like for real, and that's the cycle. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna get some feedback. You make adjustments. You move forward. That's definitely my biggest advice for people. Whatever it is that you're struggling with. I mean, we only got, this was fun. We need to do this again. We only got into like chapter 1 and 2 of this story. But I have made, just a little bit, I have made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and like you can still have an amazing life. You can still have a comeback. You could still just be reinvigorated with purpose. Even though that you have messed up so many times and you haven't necessarily been fully living up to your potential. But that's the exciting part about that, is that you're only done if you say that you're done. If you decide that, you know what, no, it's like, I'm going to keep working towards this because it's worth it, then it's worth it. And that can be your reality. So there's always hope. There's always a way. There's always a way if you just decide that there will be. And it may take you longer than you anticipate, but that's okay. Absolutely okay. It's worth it. Keep going, people.
That's the best advice there, folks. You know, embrace, like you said, the failure. Just if you look at it, you fail forward. You know, hell, I went through a lot. Everybody has trials, and it's just what you make of them, what you choose, you know, to learn from them. And like you say, that's where most of the powerful lessons come from, if you're willing to look at it and be honest.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, brother. Yeah, let's stay in touch, and I look forward to catching up with you again. But appreciate your time, and you know, have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, my pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.